All right, we're live right now on YouTube. I believe so. Oh shoot. Okay, so it actually finally worked. All right. So I've been trying to do something for a while now, and I am ready. But here we go. Tell me why. Hey, tell me why. Nothing. Tell. All right. Just trying to set up here more. All right. Finally. All right, so finally, I am going to predict the entire NFL schedule stream for tonight. And just going to make sure I reset everything, just to see no glitches for the 2021-2022 NFL schedule. And it's finally going to happen tonight. Today. This afternoon, I guess. Alright, just trying to. Alright. There it is. Come on. Alright. 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 Finally got together, and we're gonna go see the NFL prediction schedule. Alright. Alright. Finally got together, and we're gonna go see the NFL prediction schedule. Alright, first game. So we're gonna. I'm gonna do this differently this time. I'm gonna do based on every team, I guess, or yeah, every team. We're gonna start from the AFC North, and we're just gonna keep going down all the way to the NFC West. Alright, first game. So we're gonna. I'm gonna do this differently this time. I'm gonna do based on every And the first game we're gonna do, is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Buffalo Bills. They'll play on Sunday afternoon, and we're gonna give this one a win right here to the Buffalo Bills. Sorry, give this one for the Buffalo Bills for the win. The next one, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I do not trust Las Vegas Raiders defense, but Pittsburgh offense is very sus. So I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in this situation. I feel like they're the much better team. They'll win this game, and they'll take the dub right here. Then finally, they play Cincinnati week 3, and they're going to... This is going to be a weird one, but I say they'll take the win right here. I feel like it's going to be a trap game, but I feel like Pittsburgh at home will take this one right here. Next one to go ahead, play the Green Bay Packers on Sunday, and they will take their second loss of the season. Green Bay's just a much better team. Pittsburgh lost pieces, so now it's time to see what goes on next. Next one, the Pittsburgh Steelers will go on to face the Denver Broncos at home. They'll go on to take this win, and hopefully it'll be a blowout game. I doubt it, but it's going to be a blowout game. Next one is the Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Can't wait to see this game. It's going to be very interesting. It's weird to be our 17th opponent technically, or the 17th that added. And I am very excited, but Seattle's going to take the win right here and go for the third loss right here. So 3-3 so far. An okay start, but not a great start either. So they're in an average area. Week 7, that bye week, they rest up, but they go ahead and take their 4th loss. They go against the Cleveland Browns on Halloween night, and that one's going to be very fun to see, the rematch of the wild card round, and it's going to be a very fun one. Next one is the Chicago Bears versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they go ahead and win this game. The Steelers go ahead and they go 4-4. And then week 10, they go against the Detroit Lions. Pittsburgh will win this one. I do not have faith in the Lions at all. Their defense is not good. Their offense needs a wide receiver core as badly as they need it. And yeah, Pittsburgh will now go on ahead to play the LA Chargers. And I believe they take the loss right here. They're 5-4, but make them 5-5 now. And we are finally going to go see, will be the Steelers? Will they have to go make this win streak to go to the playoffs, or will they not? Next one, they go to Cincinnati, and I think Cincinnati pulls the upset. Joe Burrow takes his first win with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's going to be a close one. I feel like Pittsburgh's just not the same team. And Pittsburgh, this is a turning point now. They got to win this game versus Baltimore. If they don't, then that's it. That's a crucial point. And they play Minnesota on Thursday Night Football, and it's going to be another crucial one. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be a close one. The Vikings offense is pretty legit. The Vikings defense have improved overall this season. Secondary, still a little bit iffy, but I feel like they could find a way. But I think after that, it's up to one of them. If one of these teams come in clutch, they might have a chance for the playoffs. But I'm going to go say Minnesota for a 7th loss right here. Then they go on to play the Tennessee Titans. Another tough game. I feel like Pittsburgh could pull this win right here, but I have no feeling at all what's going to happen. So I'm thinking it go either way. Like, Tennessee doesn't really have a good pass rush, but the Steelers don't have a good O-line either. So you could go either way to see what could be good and what could be not good. And honestly, well, I feel like Pittsburgh might pull this win right here, go 7-7. So now this is the 3-game point. They have the Chiefs, the Browns, and the Ravens, and these are probably so far the toughest games I will say they're facing. They're facing the Chiefs. They're gonna lose this one. I don't think they. I think they split with the Browns and they split the Ravens. So they go 8-9. A lot of you guys probably some of you guys are probably thinking why, but it makes sense. It makes sense. They're not. They just had lost pieces in the offseason. They didn't really address the line. They got a running back who's going to face with that no line. Yes, Joe Mixon's an example, but it's going to be a tough one for Najee Harris. And Big Ben is not having no more. For 41, sorry, I got stuck in my head, but 41 years old is not cutting it. All right, we're done with the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule now. Next one, we go ahead to Baltimore. They got second place in their division. Glad that last minute stretch was worth it when Lamar just having to take a let's just say he had cramps. Let's go with that. All right, then fine. Next first game is a Monday nighter versus the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Ravens take this one. They go ahead, take the win. I feel like this is gonna be a blowout. The Raiders defense is non-existent, even though they have improved, but I don't see they improved it. Next one to go to Sunday Night Football. They play the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chiefs win it. For the Ravens just cannot beat the Chiefs. They were close the first 2 times. Last time was a disappointment. But I'm not going against Mahomes again. Chiefs are gonna take this one. So 1-1, but they go 2-1. They go play Detroit. They win this one, and it's gonna be a W right there. They play the Broncos week 4, another W. They play the Colts week 5, gonna be a pretty good game. It could go either way, depending on how Carson Wentz is. But Ravens go ahead, go 4-1 of the season. Now they have 2 more games till they hit their bye week. The Chargers, honestly, I say they win this one right here, and they go ahead versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow loses in Baltimore. So right now, 6-1 to start, pretty good. Now they head to their 8th game versus the Minnesota Vikings, and I say they win this one at home But I feel like next one, the Thursday nighter, they go ahead and lose to Miami. This is where I believe is like, all right, they have this good win games right here, but then it's like after a 4-game stretch, they gotta lose this one. I feel like Miami could pull the upset. Their defense is still pretty underrated, so I could imagine this happening. Then Baltimore versus the Chicago Bears. Last time when the Chicago Bears all played the all AFC North teams, they actually beat all AFC North teams: the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Like, yes, they actually did it. Could this happen? It depends on who start. I think no matter who starts, Baltimore's gonna win. Then Baltimore plays Cleveland, and that's gonna be another good game. In reality, Baltimore has 3 good games he has to face, but they're division rivals. He has to play the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens play the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, Baltimore Ravens play the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Browns will play the Ravens again. So I'm gonna say Baltimore wins this one. I said they're gonna lose to Pittsburgh, and they lose to Cleveland. 2-game, no way. This time the Browns are splitting with the Ravens. They're not gonna get swept. In Cleveland, they're gonna do it. Next one to play the Packers, and this is gonna be a crucial point in their season. Now they're 9-4 at this point of the season, and this game could go either way. We're gonna see if the Ravens could do it, and I don't think they're going to do a 3-game losing streak. They're now 9-5, crucial point for the Ravens, and now they have to play the Bengals and Rams. Sorry, have the Browns still in my mind, but they go ahead sweep with the Bengals, and this game week 17, Ravens versus Rams. This is a very crucial game for both teams. Both of them probably most likely fighting for playoff spots or even their own divisions at this point. And I say Baltimore wins it. Baltimore gets into clutch numbers. They go in on this winning 3-game streak versus at the end being the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this could get them to a playoff berth. All right. Now, next one is the Cleveland Browns, the team that might win the AFC North. And so far, I have put in 2-2 on each game. So for division rivals, but they go ahead play Kansas City week 1, very close game. But I'm gonna say Kansas City beats them. But they go ahead and get the winning streak going to beat Houston. They're just not a good team, whether Deshaun playing or not. Then they play the Chicago Bears. Bears will lose this one. Browns are just a better team. Next, you play the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin Stefanski revenge game. It's going to go either way, but I feel like Cleveland will be the better team at the end. So 3-game winning streak. They go play the LA Chargers 2016. The Chargers gave the Browns their first win, and they're going to go give them another win. Then they go ahead and play the Arizona Cardinals. Probably going to be a very good game. I could see this one being a game of the week. And between Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, last night the Browns were disappointing when playing the Arizona Cardinals. This time, it changes once again. And then in Cleveland, wow, they go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-game streak. They're 7-1. They're right now competing at this point with the Ravens in the playoffs. Next one, they go play the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals almost beat them, but I still believe the Browns are able to pull it off. Better team. Next one's going to be the New England Patriots. Who starts this game? I do not know. And I'm going to go say do I really want to put the Patriots? They could do it. No, Browns. They got to one-up the Patriots. They're just a much better team. They go on ahead to an 11-game win streak from 10-game win streak, sorry. But their 10-game win streak ends in Baltimore, but they go ahead and bye, but they go ahead, bounce back, beat the Ravens. They go back-to-back games versus the Baltimore Ravens technically, but Cleveland wins it. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland lost to them last time, but I think Cleveland will get the dub. They'll lose Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The Pittsburgh Steelers will win this 2-game losing streak, but they somehow pulled a win in Week 18 to bounce back to go 13-4. And it looks like, based on what we're seeing, the Cleveland Browns will win the division for the first time since a long time. Next one, we're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Vikings and the Bengals go ahead play each other week 1, and the return of Joe Burrow loses to Kirk Cousins. The Bears will beat them, and I believe Andy Dalton will start that game. I believe Andy Dalton will start that game, and they're going to win. Pittsburgh versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh will take the win, 0-3. But guess what? You give Trevor Lawrence a loss right here, and Joe Burrow goes 1-3 finally, but goes back again and loses the Packers. That's disappointing. The next one's going to be tough, but who's better? The Lions or the Bengals? I'm going to say the Bengals are probably the much better team, even though they didn't draft an O-line in the first round. Nice. Well, Uh, I believe the Bengals are probably just a much better team in that situation. So they're 2-4, but they lose to the Ravens. Joe Burrow versus Zach Wilson. Both teams have improved mightily, but I'm saying the Jets win this one. I just have a feel like a gut feeling the Jets win this one in New York, or technically New Jersey, but yeah. Then I said they lose to the Browns. Lose to the Browns, just a much better team. Then you go play the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like this is a game where the Raiders should win, but I think the Bengals could pull this upset. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with the Raiders. I could change my mind during later on. I'll probably make another video predictions stream, but let's see what happens. Next one is the LA Chargers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And do you think they go back-to-back wins? I don't think so. Herbert and their team is just much better than the Bengals. San Francisco blows them out. Like, unless they're injured, then the Bengals could win this one. Cincinnati versus Denver. We don't know who's actually going to start this game, but I'm going to say Cincinnati wins this one. They go 4-12. They're 4-11 technically, and then they lose to the Chiefs and they go 4-13. I don't know. They just do not really have faith in this team. They go 4-13. I just do not have faith in this team right now. But based on the results, we have the Cleveland Browns winning the division, the Ravens winning second division, Pittsburgh for third at 8-9, and Cincinnati for last at 4-13. All right, now we're going to the Tennessee Titans versus the Tennessee Titans schedule since they won their division last season, and we're going to see how this goes. The first 3 games of the Titans just do not look good at all. Like, they're pretty tough. Like the Cardinals, who have improved this season, that game could go either way. Week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks, that game could go either way. And then week 3 versus the Colts, it could go either way. It's like these are not easy opponents. Like these are just not easy opponents right now. And I'm gonna say that the Titans may win this one. Titans win week 1, but they lose to the Seattle Seahawks week 2. Like, if Derrick Henry somehow gets his run game going like that quickly in week 2, it could change my mind to the Tennessee Titans beating the Seattle Seahawks. But it's just going to be a weird game for all these. This is going to be a slow start, but I think the Tennessee Titans go ahead 2-1, but these are just going to be the toughest 2-1. This is probably be a tough 2-1 schedule because Carson Wentz is probably the biggest question mark, and he may not have his mojo yet. So we'll go with the Titans. Then the Jets play the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee probably gets a breath of fresh air. Then week 5, did they play Trevor Lawrence? They probably the first time meeting Trevor Lawrence. And Tennessee wins this one. They're just much better team right now. So they're right now 4-1, pretty good right now to head start. They go ahead and play the Buffalo Bills. I believe they lose this one. This is where they get their second loss of the season. But I believe the Tennessee Titans could pull this upset. I believe the Tennessee Titans could pull an upset with the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like they could do it. I feel like Tennessee Titans are going to do it. Pull the upset. Then they play the Colts again. They lose this one after feeling high and mighty. They kind of have to go back down this pedestal again. Tennessee Titans versus the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford. Tough game, but they go lose 2 games, but they bounce back versus the Saints. So right now they're 6-4 to the season. That's pretty decent, but it's still kind of a tough stretch, but not a tough stretch for their Tennessee Titans schedule. But let's see how they finish the rest of the season from weeks 11 through 18. They go to beat the Texans. The Texans are just not a good team. No matter who's gonna start at quarterback, they're just not a good team. I believe they lose versus the New England Patriots. I honestly see this one happening. Like this is probably Bill Belichick's revenge game to the wild card. Like Derrick Henry's still there. I feel like Derrick Henry could rush for over 100 yards this game, but I feel like they'll lose by like a second, and I feel like Mac Jones might win this one if Mac Jones starts. Cam Newton starts. I could say Tennessee, but I think either way I'm going with New England. Just a gut feeling. By week 5 losses, they're 7-5. They're 7-5. They go ahead. They gotta think about it. They gotta do what they gotta do to go to the playoffs. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They pull the upset with San Fran. They beat the Miami Dolphins and they sweep the Texans. They go on a 3-game win streak and they go to 11-6. Will this put them in the division? Who knows? We're gonna see the Colts, who got second in their division with a new quarterback in Carson Wentz. Will Carson Wentz be back at it again? Will Carson Wentz be good? Who knows? But let's start week 1. Actually, let me see the first 4 games. The first 5 games are actually very tough for Indianapolis. Honestly, this is one that's going to be very confusing for each one. They could go either way with the. I already put the losses between Tennessee and Baltimore, but it could go either way between Seattle. It could go either way between LA. It could go either way between the Titans. Even though I put them as a loss, but it could go either way. It could go with the Dolphins, and the Ravens could go either way. Even though I put down a loss too, but it could go either way. So I'm saying I'm gonna say the Colts lose to Seattle. Just Carson Wentz is just the biggest question mark. They're a solid team in general. They're the biggest question mark. And first live chat from Hernandez64. Loving the live stream, dude. Thank you very much. Wakanda forever. I don't know why I said that, but it's just something is just to say out of random. Alright, the next one, week 2, they go play the LA Rams. Matthew Stafford and Carson Wentz, both new quarterbacks at their different areas. I'm gonna go with LA. LA, they go 0-2. Not a good start for the Carson Wentz Indianapolis era, but these are 2 tough teams they had to play. Next one's gonna be a very close one, Tennessee, but they lose this one. I'm sorry. This is just, I feel bad for Carson Wentz right here that they had to lose 3 times. But you know what? Give them a spark of hope. Give them a spark of hope. And you know what? They could beat the Dolphins. I feel like Tua could go slow down like Carson Wentz, but I think Carson Wentz finally unlocks his game right here. But yes, he's going to play Xavier Howard with corners, and they have an underrated defense, but I think Indianapolis is going to do something. It's Isaac, by the way. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I see you by your username, man. Yeah, thanks for coming to the chat, bro. Thanks for coming to the chat. Alright. Next one is the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, that one's going to be a close one, but Baltimore wins this one. 1-4 right now. It's not looking good. People are probably going to question if Carson Wentz is the quarterback or just they're playing tough teams. Who knows? But this is where Indianapolis gets another win right here. They go 2-4 right now. But still, this is still very concerning. They're still thinking Are they doing it just play they play weak opponents, or are they doing it just because they just they is it just because they don't have the right quarterback? Honestly, I feel like it's a mixture of both in this if this happens in this situation. Like if they somehow pull the win with Seattle or Indianapolis in those first 2 weeks, then they could think they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. But if they don't get those wins, this is where they question about like are the Colts an actual good team? Week 7 to play the San Francisco 49ers. They lose this one. San Francisco's coming back from the bye week based on what we see from that bet symbol. And I feel like San Francisco finally are getting something together too. They're more of a legitimate contender than last season. Unless they get injured, then Colts have a pretty good chance. But I feel like this is where they kind of get their stride going. They go ahead play the Tennessee Titans. They are now kind of okay. Maybe they were just playing tough opponents, but they got to get together at this point. They're right now 3-5. This is where the turning point begins. They go ahead win New York. They go ahead beat the Jaguars. So 5-5. Now this is where it's like everyone's minds are like, okay, we have a turning point now. We finally hit at 10 games. We are actually probably a legitimate contender. No problem, dude. I gotta support the homies. Thanks, bro. Alright. Next one's the Colts and the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo is a pretty good team. Again, this is another one. This is where I could see Colts pulling this upset right here. Like any team could pull this upset for some reason, but playing in Buffalo, it was in Indianapolis. I would have given it the upset, but I think the home field in Buffalo is just going to be too tough for them since it's now November time and it's getting more chilly. I feel like that Buffalo weather just cannot contain the Colts. Then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Indianapolis Colts. Ooh, Tom Brady versus the Colts defense. It's going to be a pretty solid game, actually. This is probably two very solid teams. The Super Bowl champion, the Colts, and the Colts are playoff contenders. This is actually, you could see how Indianapolis could pull this upset. Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? Yes, I will pull the upset versus Tom Brady. I feel like this is the game where it's like, if Carson Wentz wins this one, they have faith that they're going to the playoffs. Because they'll go ahead and beat the Houston Texans. I see this. They go ahead and beat the New England Patriots. This is where their game streak goes. 4-game win streak. This is do or die time now. There are 2 more games left. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Raiders could have a solid team. They could finally get it together, but the past couple seasons we see them collapse. Indianapolis wins this one. Now they're now into playoff contention for the Tennessee Titans. And they win versus Jacksonville. They win in Jacksonville. But I ever hate those moments in the movie where you're just like, you thought you were going to make it, but something that just completely botches up? That's the Jaguars that botches everything up and just ruins that story feel good ending. Because Jaguars pulled this upset with Indianapolis. I seen it a few times. And I think Trevor Lawrence finally gets that groove going at the late season, with a lot of rookies, and they'll pull the upset right there, and they're gonna say, "Hey, we beat the Colts." But at least the Colts ended up finishing 10-7. The Titans still win their division by a game. But let's say the Colts did beat the Jaguars. The Colts would have won the division. That's pretty much what it was. The Colts would have won the division. But we're playing Jacksonville for the win. Alright, finally, next one's the Houston Texans who went 4-12 with Deshaun Watson. Now we're not even unsure if Deshaun Watson is going to play due to his allegations. And honestly, this is going to be a tough one for the Texans. Either way, this is a tough one. They are projecting it, even myself, as the number 1 overall pick or the number 2 pick. And at least they'll have a first round pick this season. If they didn't and Miami had that first round pick, Miami would basically have unlimited power. They will do anything. If Tua didn't do well, good. That's good. They had that first overall. They would have that first overall pick to select a quarterback. Or hey, they could choose someone on defense. By the way, since the Texans had that first round pick, they feel a little more safe unless Jack Easterby or Nick Casario is like, you know what, let's trade for a first rounder for someone. Oh, top wide receiver. Let's say Nuke Hopkins again. Because Bill O'Brien's gone. Nuke Hopkins will definitely love our thing. Yeah, but Houston, keep your first rounder. You're gonna need it. But Jacksonville versus the Houston Texans, I'll say Houston wins. I feel like with Gardner Minshew or Trevor Lawrence starting, Houston will barely ink out that dub. And to play the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold, I feel like will get a groove on and beat the Texans. Next up, they play the Buffalo Bills, and they're gonna lose to the Bills. Why was there a pause? I don't want to give you suspense. Next one is the New England Patriots versus the Houston Texans. Hey, if the Houston Texans pulls this win, ESPN and every sports news network, and probably even myself, will not be talking about it. We'll be talking about this for a week, that they lost to possibly one of the worst teams in football, despite New England having an impressive offseason. But New England wins. Don't even think I was going to choose the Houston Texans. And to play the Indianapolis Colts, and so far I say Indianapolis wins. They're just Tennessee Titans are just not a good team. They're just not a good team. DeAndre Hopkins sees his old team in the Houston Texans, and the Cardinals are gonna blow them out. If this better be a blowout, because DeAndre Hopkins needs his revenge. If Bill O'Brien was there, that would have been more satisfying. But DeAndre Hopkins being the Texans, he'll probably still hug Deshaun if he plays and those allegations are not guilty. But DeAndre Hopkins, if you better put him in fantasy this season for this game, because he will go all out. LA versus the Houston Texans. A few years ago, this would have been probably the matchup of the year, but now it's just LA taking over again. Houston, Miami. It'll be the battle of the first round picks. Let's see how that panned out. Austin Jackson. Wait, was it Austin Jackson? Well, technically it was the Packers. Technically they got Jordan Love for the 26th pick, but in reality, but we're gonna go with Miami getting Noah Igbenogany. Can't pronounce his name right. That corner that Miami drafted last season. But Endura, the first rounder, was technically the Niners with Trey Lance, but technically their first round pick was Jalen Waddle with the receiving core. But Miami is gonna beat them. Wow, 1-11. 1-11. Did they pull out a win versus the Jets? And they will not. I thought about it for a moment, actually. I feel like Robert Saleh is just a better coach. Will be the better coach in this game. I thought I would want the Texans, but I think Zach Wilson will have a good game against that secondary. They lose to the Colts once again. They're not gonna beat. They're not gonna beat the Seahawks. If they do, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do if I see the Seahawks losing to the Texans. I don't know what to do in that situation. I'll be constantly about life. But anyways, to Jacksonville. Jacksonville gets the win right there. Trevor Lawrence gets his groove on and go 1-14. The LA Chargers play the Houston Texans. This is honestly could be an upset too. The Chargers could choke this game and the Texans win it. And it could be that game where the Texans shouldn't even have won, but they did. But Chargers win. They get destroyed by the Niners and lose to the Titans. So they only won one game. 1-16. So if I had to be positive here, if I'd say they had to win only how many games they would at least the max, I'll say they would pull the win with Houston, with the Jets. Pull the win with the Colts. Oh, I thought I froze for a moment. Pull the upset with the Chargers. Beat Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold messes up too. And yeah, that's the highest amount of wins I could say for the Houston Texans if they actually do it. But they're going 1-16. Wow, at least they won one game. At least they won one game. Next one is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are somehow get third place just by default. Just right now it's loading. Okay, we finally got the Jaguars schedule. They play the Houston Texans. Then they lose this one. Did they pull the win with Denver? I feel like Urban Meyer might pull this upset because nobody really knows his coaching style since he only seen him play college ball and playing Trevor. I can see this one will win, but they'll lose to the Cardinals though. They'll lose to the Bengals. They'll lose to the Titans. I think they kind of like figured out, hey, this is the NFL, not college ball at this point. So, but did they win in Jacksonville with the Dolphins and all Florida Bowl? Nah. Miami wins this one. So right now they are 1-5. Then they go ahead and play the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are now losing to. They are not losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars once again. Buffalo and Jacksonville revenge the wild card game. And we are going to see Buffalo win this one. They go play the Colts, lose. Jacksonville does not beat the Niners, but they will beat the Falcons. They go 4-10 right now. Wow. They get destroyed by the LA Rams, unless the Rams pull what they did last season when they lost to the Jets, just be inconsistent. But the Rams are going to win this one. The Titans will beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars will beat the Texans. Now we finally see the battle of the top 2 draft picks in the NFL draft, Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. Because I feel like Zach Wilson went there to be like, see, Zach Wilson's better than Trevor Lawrence. Or see, Urban Meyer cannot coach a game. He's not an NFL. And I feel like who's the better team? I feel like they had similar off seasons as a whole, like similar off seasons. Like both teams are pretty equal. I feel like Jack's defense do have Shaq Griffin. The Jets do not really have much of a defense, but I'll say Jacksonville wins this one. Jacksonville wins this one. They go 5-11. They lose to the New England Patriots week 17, and they beat the Colts week 18. So they win. They go in the first half of the season. Let's go start from after week 10 and above. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. They go 4-5. They go 4-5 the second half of the season, so not bad for Jacksonville. And it could show that it's like, hey, they could improve. They have improved. But like that schedule, highest amount of wins I could say they beat the Bengals. I said they'd already beat the Colts one time. I see them sweeping the Texans, pulling the upset right there. And that's about it. They go 7-10. That's the highest I will say for Jacksonville, 7-10. But I'm putting them at 5-12. Next one is the AFC East, starting with the AFC champ runner-up, the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo trying to take on the Reigns, become the new AFC East champs, or back-to-back AFC champs, and dominate for years to come and try to conquer Bill Belichick. Will they do it? We'll see right now. Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I said Buffalo win this one. Buffalo, Miami. I say Buffalo wins this one. I feel like Miami will be slow enough that Buffalo will get the win overall. They play Washington. Buffalo wins this one. Go on this game streak right here. They lose versus the Chiefs though. They beat the Titans. The Miami Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills here. Yes, I feel like it'll be a reverse. It'll be a reverse thing that the Dolphins finally kind of gain something, but they'll win in Buffalo. It'll be reversal. I feel like it'll be reversal. Buffalo beats Jacksonville. They go beat the New York Football Jets. So they are so far 2 losses in that season. So they are right now. Well, I guess they played 9 games, so they are 7-2 based on what we're seeing. They go 8-2 with the Colts. Another game that could be an upset. I mentioned the one with the Colts that one could be an upset. This one could be another upset. Taysom Hill or James Winston, I feel like they could pull the upset and just get the win with the Bills in New Orleans. But Buffalo is just a much better team. They go play the New England Patriots. If Mac Jones plays, it's going to be a good one, but Buffalo wins this one. They go play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tampa Bay beats Josh Allen. Buffalo just cannot get away from Brady. They're in Brady's nightmares. There's just sorry, not in Brady's nightmares. Brady's in the Bills' nightmares. Brady's just like, I'm coming for you, Buffalo. I'm always gonna be your father. Even when I'm in Tampa Bay, I'm always your father. But Tom Brady wins this one. Buffalo versus Carolina. Buffalo wins this one. Okay, then Buffalo plays the New England Patriots, and New England pulls the win right there. They win versus the Atlanta Falcons, and they beat the New York Jets, going 13-4. Is that a downgrade or an upgrade? Who knows, since they had to play a 17-game schedule. Alright, next one is the New England Patriots. Just kidding, the Miami Dolphins will do the New England Patriots next. Miami got second. They went 10-6. Let's see how their season goes. They played the New England Patriots, lost right here. But they'll lose the Buffalo Bills, like I mentioned earlier. But they will beat the Las Vegas Raiders. I just do not think Raiders are that much of a good team. They lose to Miami. They lose to Tampa Bay. But upset couldn't roll here. They beat Jacksonville. They beat the Falcons. They go on ahead in a pretty good 5-game win streak right here. They beat the Jets. They beat Carolina. They beat the Giants. So pretty good right now. 9-4, 9-4 by a week. They finally rest up, but I think it's kind of a bad thing. I think I'm actually seeing now the Jets pull the upset with the Dolphins. It's possible. And then the New Orleans Saints will lose to the Miami Dolphins, and Tennessee will beat the Dolphins, and Miami wins this one. 11-6, pretty good, pretty good for the Miami Dolphins. We go to play the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick had an aggressive offseason. There's been rumors now that Julio Jones are in links for the Patriots, but who knows? This is before the Julio Jones, if he does get traded to New England. So this is just an early prediction. Sorry if I'm yawning. Might do it later on. Probably when it gets closer to season and we see finally like who's finalized the real teams, who's actually gonna play this season. So let's see how it goes. New England will beat the Miami Dolphins. They'll beat the Jets. They'll beat the Saints. And they'll beat the Buccaneers. Because I honestly feel like Belichick will coach them, and Bill Belichick will tell this, Tom, I'm coming for you. If you're going to win a Super Bowl without me, yes, you did, but trust me, I'm coming for you. You're next, Tom. You're next. Well, I say the New England Patriots beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a huge Sunday Night Football matchup. The Patriots will beat the Texans. They'll beat the Cowboys. They go on a 6-game win streak right here under Cam Newton. Wow. They'll beat the Jets. But they will lose to the Chargers. They'll beat the Carolina Panthers. They'll lose to the Browns. Week 11 versus the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones gets traded in New England. This is going to be a weird one, but New England wins this one. And they go 12-5 since they will beat the Titans. They'll lose to Buffalo. They'll lose to the Colts, but they go on a 2-game win streak again, and then Miami. They'll lose to Miami. It's just for some reason at this point, it's kind of like an obvious thing. They'll lose to the Miami Dolphins in Miami or something. I don't know. Then the next one, New York Jets, and this is just going to be a weird one. I'm going to say Sam Darnold gets revenge. He will have, trust me, if you have him on fantasy, put him for this game. He needs his revenge. He needs to be like, I'm not used garbage. I'm not terrible. He throws for 6 touchdowns. Even that's probably a hot take, but he will be the fantasy game player of the week if you draft him in fantasy this for week 1. He's just like, goes Super Saiyan mode. He's just like, I'm tired of being called trash. I'm going to prove y'all wrong, and I'm going to beat my former team. All right, but Carolina will win the game. New England versus the New York Jets. I say the Jets lose. The Jets could beat the Broncos, but I believe Denver will win this one. Jets will lose to the Titans. The Atlanta Falcons will beat the Jets. New England will beat them. We'll sweep them. Cincinnati will lose to the Jets. The Colts beat them. The Bills beat them. Dolphins will win them. Jets will beat the Texans. apparently on TikTok, there's this one guy, I guess, made this weird, I guess, said this bizarre stat I never knew about, and I had to look it up myself, and it's true. The Philadelphia Eagles have never beaten the New York Jets, not even once in their whole in franchise existence when the Eagles were there. Whenever they play the Jets, and it's 11 times. The Eagles are 11-0 versus the New York Jets. I'm gonna say Philly now. I honestly thought the Jets. Well, obviously it's cap, but we might as well go with 12-0 right now, right? But yeah, Jalen Hurts may have a game, but New Orleans will beat the Jets. Jets will Jets pull an upset with Miami. The Jaguars will beat the Jets. The Buccaneers will beat the Jets, and the Buffalo Bills will beat the Jets. So 3-14. A 1 game increase, but a loss decrease. So yeah. All right, now time for the AFC West. We're almost halfway there. Starting with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl runner-up, or the 2019 Super Bowl champions. And we're a go ahead. I said they'll beat the Browns, they'll beat the Chiefs, they'll beat the Chargers, they'll beat the Eagles, they'll beat the Bills. Did they pull a win with Washington? Yes, they will. But they lose to the Titans. This is where they pull the upside, I said. Chiefs beat the Giants. Packers beat the Chiefs. Yeah, Chiefs beat the Packers. Chiefs will beat the Packers. People are gonna be like, "This is the game of the year." The Cowboys, Chiefs. This will be the game of the year. It's not. Chiefs are gonna win this one. Chiefs beat the Broncos. Chiefs will beat the Raiders. They'll lose to the Chargers. Wait. Oh, should forgot about the one other Raiders game. Actually, they'll lose to that one. They'll lose to the Raiders once, and they'll go 14-3. Not bad. All right. Our next one is the LA Chargers. Sorry. Wait, who got second or no? Raiders got second in the division with 8-8. 0-3 started, like I mentioned earlier. Going 4. 0-5. They'll beat the Broncos. They'll go 1-5 at least. They'll beat the Eagles. The Giants will win this one. I feel like the Raiders will lose this one. They'll beat Kansas City and think they're gonna be all that. They'll beat the Cowboys for some reason. They'll beat the Washington football team. They go lose. They lose to the Broncos, and they go ahead and beat the 7-10. Now the Chargers go ahead, and we go ahead to see what the Chargers schedule is set. So far it says 6-4, but we're gonna go continue on. Chargers beat Washington football team. The Chargers beat the Cowboys 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 4-3, 5-3. With the Eagles, the Eagles are just not good of a team. They're just not gonna do well. Minnesota Chargers could go either way. Chargers win this one. Chargers beat Pittsburgh. You know what? Denver will win this one. Beat the Bengals. Beat the Giants. Beat the Chiefs. Beat the Texans. And they will go 12-5. And finally, the last team in the AFC is the Denver Broncos. We'll be discussing the Giants will win this one. They'll go ahead, lose to Jacksonville 0-2, but 1-2. Here we go with the Jets, but they go a 4-game losing streak. They will go with a 5-game losing streak. A 6-game losing streak. I will see them beating the Eagles. They beat the Chargers back-to-back games wins. Denver, I just do not trust Detroit. Actually, I see Detroit winning this one. Actually, I'm now deep thinking about, and they lose the rest of their games. 4-13. Drew Lock gets got. Drew Lock gone. Teddy Bridgewater gone. They go for a new quarterback for the billionth time. 4-13. And so far for the AFC, here we have it. So the first seed will be the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-3. Second seed, well, let's kind of change the settings right now. All right, conference-wise, here we go. So for my playoff predictions, early playoff predictions, I have the Chiefs, Browns, Bills, Titans, Ravens, Chargers, and the Patriots. What do you think? Pretty solid. Pretty solid. I feel like just the AFC is going to be a very tough competition, and I feel like with double-digit wins, you just cannot make it for some reason. Even with the 7 seeds and the 17th game, it's just going to be very tough. The worst team so far in AFC will be the Houston Texans, the Jets, the Broncos, the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Colts, and the Dolphins. And I feel like this is where everyone's going to be like, they're going to be on Tua's head by having a good season again. If they would win this one, they will still not make the playoffs if they beat the Colts. But they'll make the playoffs if they actually sweep the Buffalo Bills and have those predictions I mentioned earlier. And Buffalo will be eliminated just thanks to that one game. Yikes. But let's say they do beat the Jets. They do not make the playoffs. They beat the Titans. No effect whatsoever. Alright. They sweep the Patriots. Obviously, they'll moving up to the 5th seed. Wow. And they sweep the Patriots. They beat the Buccaneers. No effect at all. Alright. So the only way they make the playoffs is they somehow sweep the Bills or the Patriots with one of these moments. I guess. Wow, that's alright. Well, next one is the NFC. I'm trying not to lose my voice right now. And we'll start with the NFC North with the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully nobody's watching this part where I'm going to do some things that may not be interesting in my favorite, but here we go. The Green Bay Packers will play the New Orleans Saints, and the Packers will win this one. They play the Detroit Lions, they'll win this one. They play the Niners, lose. They'll beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, they'll beat the Bengals, they'll beat the Bears. They're not going to sweep them. This actually could be an upset. But they'll lose to the Cardinals. They'll beat the Chiefs. They beat the Seahawks. The Packers beat the Seahawks. But we just keep going. Minnesota wins this one. Green Bay beats the LA Rams. They'll sweep the Bears. They'll beat the Ravens. They could lose the Browns, but I feel like the Packers could win this one. And the Green Bay Packers will beat the Minnesota Vikings at home, and they they're 12-5. If they were playing for the first seed, definitely if they're not playing for the first seed and they got the first seed, the Lions could win this one. But since they're probably fighting out for the first seed, they will go 13-4, and that'll be the first game we're going to see next one is the Chicago Bears, who went 8-5, and this is where I'm gonna make a mix here on when I could feel like Justin Fields will start here. So, but I feel like Andy Dalton will start week 1, week 2. I feel like that's gonna happen. They'll lose to the Rams. Everyone's gonna be like, start Justin Fields, but it's too early still. The Bengals will lose to the Andy Dalton Bears, and they're gonna be like, all right, fine, we're too harsh. They'll lose to the Browns again. Hate Dalton again, but they'll beat the Lions. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll be like, all right, we're liking Dalton, but they lose to the Buccaneers. I could see the upset. If they start Nick Foles, I'll be laughing right there. They'll be like, Nick Foles, you're playing your son again, Tom Brady. Go ahead and beat him. Nick Foles like, okay. But yeah, they'll lose to Tampa Bay. They'll lose to the San Francisco 49ers. They'll lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll lose to the Ravens. This is where I believe they start Justin Fields, but they'll lose to the Lions. They'll put the upset with Arizona. They'll lose to the Packers. They'll beat the Vikings. They'll lose to the Seahawks. Sorry, and both teams could go either way, but they lose to the Giants, and they lose to the Minnesota Vikings. 5-12 does not look good, but I just feel like that's what we're gonna get from a mix of Dalton and Justin Fields, and they're just not playing it very good. They're just playing a very tough schedule that's just not going to be in their favor. Wait, who's the AFC opponent they're playing? They're playing the AFC West opponent, but who's that team? Browns. Oh, the Raiders. Okay, the Raiders. Then let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, which they have dramatically improved this season, and we're going to go see how it goes for the Minnesota Vikings. So Minnesota will play the Bengals, they'll beat them. Minnesota will play the Cardinals, they'll lose. They'll beat the Seahawks again. Seattle loses to the Minnesota Vikings. They'll lose to the Browns. They'll beat the Lions. And they'll beat the Panthers. Cowboys will lose to the Vikings. They'll lose to the Ravens. They'll lose to the Chargers. They'll beat the Packers. Niners will beat the Vikings. They'll sweep the Detroit Lions. They'll beat the Minnesota Vikings. They'll lose to the Bears. I see this one as an upset. And yeah, they go 10-7. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. Next one, they play the Detroit Lions. Sorry, the Detroit Lions is up next. And San Francisco will beat them. They'll lose to the Packers. They'll lose to the Ravens. They'll lose to the Bears. They'll lose to the Vikings. They'll lose to the Bengals. Matthew Stafford gets his revenge week 7. Do I do it? Do I do it? Do I do it? And the Lions will lose. Just kidding. They'll win the Philadelphia Eagles. They'll lose to Pittsburgh. Come on. They'll lose to Cleveland. They'll beat the Bears. Those get swept by the Vikings. They'll beat Broncos. Arizona. This is where I feel like Atlanta will choke this game. Detroit wins this one. And still lose to the Seahawks. And they'll lose to the Packers. Unless the Packers rest their starters, then Detroit will win the game. So 4-13 or 5-12. But 4-13 is their season. Not good, but hey, you basically have no wide receivers. Then finally, let's go to the NFC South, starting with the New Orleans Saints, actually, since they won their division first. And they'll go ahead to lose the Packers. They'll lose to Carolina. Not a good start, but they will beat the Giants. They'll lose to the football team. They'll lose to the Seahawks. They'll beat the Buccaneers. They'll beat the Falcons. So 3 and 6? Wait, what? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yikes. They'll beat the Eagles. They'll lose to the Bills. I can see them beating the Cowboys. Buccaneers win this one. And Atlanta will win. 7 and 10. I just do not have faith in this Saints team, especially at the quarterback position. Whether Jameis or Taysom Hill plays, I just do not have faith. Now, next one is Super Bowl champs, Buccaneers, and they have some wins right here in the column. But they'll beat the Cowboys. They'll beat the Falcons. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll lose to the Patriots 2 and 2. But they will beat the Dolphins. They'll beat the Eagles. They'll beat the Bears. They'll lose to the Saints. They'll beat the Washington football team. They'll beat the Giants, who for some reason thought they deserved the playoff spot last season. They'll beat the Falcons, and they'll lose to the Panthers, and they beat the Panthers once again. And they'll go 12 and 5. Hate me or not, that's why I feel like they'll go 12 and 5. But they'll win their division, though. Hey, Carolina, what you got? 3-game win streak, good for you. But you lose to the Cowboys. You'll beat the Eagles, though. You'll lose to the Vikings. They'll lose to the Giants. Those are the Falcons at least once. They'll lose to the Patriots. They'll lose to the Cardinals. Collapse once again. They'll beat the Washington football team, and they'll beat the Carolina Panthers, going at 7 and 10. Next up is the Atlanta Falcons. And Atlanta pulls a win right here, week 1. They go 1 and 0, but they go 1 and 1 after that. They go 1 and 2. They go 1 and 3, but they'll beat the Jets. Man, they'll lose to Miami. They'll beat Carolina, New Orleans. Dallas wins this one. And they'll lose to the Niners. I feel like they'll pull the upset right there, but for some reason, I think that's gonna 4 and 13. I just do not have faith in Falcons. They have an awesome offense, but their defense is so sus that that's how they lose games. Next one is the Giants. Sorry, Washington football team, since they were the division winners at 7 and 9. I can't believe they actually went to the playoffs 7 and 9. Hey, but they almost beat the Buccaneers. Give them props for that one. Washington will win this one. They go 2 and 2, 3 and 2, 3 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 5, 4 and 6. Trap game. I believe this one a trap game. Seattle will somehow lose this game, even though they shouldn't. But they will somehow lose to the Washington football team with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Washington beats Dallas. They'll beat the Eagles. I think they'll sweep the Eagles. But they'll lose to the Giants at the end. 8 and 9. Giants, second place at 6 and 10. So they go 2 and 2. Not bad. Dak Prescott gets his revenge. They go ahead, lose. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll beat the Vegas Raiders. They'll beat the Eagles. They'll beat the Cowboys. They'll lose the Eagles once. And they go 8 and 9, and Washington so far is winning that division. Dallas wins this one. They'll sweep the Eagles. I, for some reason, think they'll sweep the Eagles. But they'll lose to Arizona. So 7 and 10. I just do not have faith in the Cowboys. And in the Eagles, since all now they have to do is play the San Francisco 49ers, I already put their prediction right there. But let's go over. They'll lose to Atlanta. They'll lose to San Fran. They'll lose to Dallas. They'll lose to the Chiefs. They'll lose to the Panthers. They'll lose to the Bucks, Raiders, Lions, Chargers, Broncos, Saints, Giants. They'll beat the Jets. Washington, the Giants will somehow do it. Eagles will get swept, and they'll get swept by the Cowboys. Shame. It's kind of weird that they play a lot of division games to like later in the season, like practically most like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they play like basically their, but like the rest, week 13 to 18 is all division opponents. But like the rest of their division opponents. Interesting. Then finally, we go to the NFC West, where we start with the Seattle Seahawks, who got some things going on. They'll barely pull a win versus Indianapolis. They'll barely pull a win with Tennessee. They'll lose to the Seahawks. Sorry, Minnesota will beat the Seahawks. Dang it. They'll go 2-2. I think Niners will probably be healthier to do enough, but Seattle pulls the win here. They go on a 3-game win streak, 4-game win streak. They'll beat the Rams in a very close matchup. They'll beat the Pittsburgh in a very close matchup. I'm pretty confident they'll beat the Steelers. New Orleans will beat Seattle will beat the New Orleans Saints, and Seattle will beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll lose to the Packers. They'll beat the Cardinals. They'll lose to the Washington football team for some odd reason. They'll beat the Niners. They'll beat the Texans. They'll lose to the Rams. They'll beat the Bears. They'll beat the Lions, but they'll lose to Arizona at the end, and they'll go 11-6. See, realistic. Realistic, people. I'm being realistic. Next up, the Rams. People who are complaining them are making them Super Bowl contenders or the NFC West champs. And let's see how this goes. They'll beat the Cardinals 4-0, but lose to the Seahawks. Beat the Giants, beat the Lions, beat the Texans, beat the Titans, but lose to the Niners in Week 10. And then they'll go ahead and play the Arizona Cardinals and lose this one. And then they'll split with the Niners. They'll go 11-6. And then finally, let's go to the Arizona Cardinals, who are 8-8 since they got third in division. They beat the Tennessee Titans. They'll lose to Tennessee. They'll beat the Arizona Cardinals. They'll beat the Minnesota Vikings. They'll beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll lose to the Rams. They will beat the Niners somehow. Lose to Cleveland. Pull these 2 magnificent wins, but they'll split the Niners. Week 9. They'll beat the Panthers. They'll lose to the Bears. Lose to the Seahawks, at least. And they go 10-7, while the Niners will win their division at 13-4. And here we go for the NFC side. My division, my NFC playoff predictions. First seed going to the Niners at 13-4. The Green Bay Packers going to go second seed. Third seed to the Buccaneers. Fourth seed to the Washington football team. The fifth seed to the Rams. The sixth seed to the Seahawks. The seventh seed to the Cardinals. And that's my NFC. Now let's go to the playoffs. My early playoff prediction pick. AFC side, Tennessee and Baltimore could go either way. But I say the Ravens win this one. They'll beat Tennessee. Then you have the Chargers and the Bills. And the Bills will beat the Chargers. Then you have the Browns and the Patriots. The Browns will try to know who dominates in the AFC by beating the Patriots. The Rams will beat the football team. The Seahawks will lose to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh man, this is just brutal. And the Packers will beat the Cardinals. Hooray, at least. The Buffalo Bills versus the Cleveland Browns. This game could go either way, but I'm gonna lay down alone. But I say the Chiefs beat the Ravens. But Buffalo and Cleveland, who is my team? I do not know. But I say the Bills need to go ahead and win this one. They go to Kansas City. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Packers. The Packers will get their revenge. And the Rams versus the Niners. And the Niners will lose. This will probably be a very big upset, but the Niners will lose to the. And finally, Aaron Rodgers, you finally did it, buddy. You're going to the Super Bowl versus the Buffalo Bills. But you don't get a ring. The Buffalo Bills will be my Super Bowl champs. They will go ahead and win in LA. And at least I'll be happy about that. You can't spell Buffalo without the L and the A. Makes sense. And those are my early NFL predictions, Super Bowl predictions too. Thank you for listening on this stream. Thank you for coming if you're all listening still. And